I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible. I know words, I had the best words.
He took a break from being disruptive to enjoy the company of her male companion. He briefly had a grasp on the situation before ushers returned.
Take a look at the oranges of the... Look, wait. They sacrifice every day for the furniture.
Some words that have been said about you.
Okay. Nazi wine mom, Nazi cave woman.
I don't let name calling bother me or offend me.
This one's from someone across the pond, a daft wanker. That's British for stupid. Lives on a diet of glue sticks. A lower level life form.
Cephahide. He's a war hero because he was captured.
Hello and welcome to Left is Right, the show where leftist pinko commies talk about you true blue, red-blooded Americans and tell you how to improve your country. Our country. Something like that, I don't know. I'm going to actually have to sit down and write an opening script here someday. So, Don, Chris. He's my nephew. I gave him a nickname. How was your week?
Splendiferous once again. Actually, it was an eventful week, and it was, it's the best week that I've felt in a long time. So I feel like the timeline is a little cleansed, like we might have had a little reboot.
Nice. How was your week there, Chris?
Same stuff. Always the same.
Always the same. That's how you like it. It works for you, so you keep using it, right?
Well enough.
Okay.
Well, this week we're going to get started. We want to talk about a big change in the presidential
election.
Yeah, election. Sorry, goodness. I'm having brain seizures for some reason. We've got Kamala has a new running mate. So let's discuss the new vice presidential candidate.
Well, she made her decision, and it was indeed one of the many people who were rumored to be finalists, and she picked Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota to be her running mate, and she has appeared at a couple of venues with him. It was last night in Pennsylvania, and tonight they have an event in Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
I hate her.
Yeah, I hate her. The event in Pennsylvania was packed. It was completely full. And then I just saw a video of the line in Eau Claire, Wisconsin for their event tonight, and the line was very long.
Fake news.
Yeah, those people were standing there for some other reason, I guess.
You could Photoshop that stuff. That wasn't outside the event. That was actually outside the. I was actually outside the welfare office. They was there to get their checks.
Okay, thanks. But not fake news that Governor Walz is the vice presidential candidate now. So not fake news is that a lot of people are psyched up about it.
I agree. I think he's a good choice. I mean, he was a football coach, so how can you go wrong picking a football coach? That's just my opinion.
That's your criteria. You can call them coach. They're good.
That's right.
Well, that doesn't apply to Denny Hester.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
The blast from the past.
Yeah.
at the event last night in Pennsylvania, the audience, they did like a panning shot of the audience. There was a lot of young people in there. I mean, it looked to me like it was mainly young people. What do you think about that, CJ, Chris?
Well, they dropped the average age of the presidential candidates with that, so that seems like good news.
I mean, but he is 60, so
I think Chris is going to actually throw his hat into the ring, and he's going to run solely on an ageist platform.
Yeah, it's important.
you'll vote for anybody who's at least as long as they're
Anyone who was born in the 1900s.
not eligible. No.
Not eligible.
Will not vote for it. Does it seem to you that he's kind of got like a younger vibe? The younger set might be.
He is the responsible party for calling the J.D. Vance weird and getting
Yes,
that
he
ball
is.
rolling. So
Yeah, he's the one who came up with that. So he's got a gift.
Sorry, I hate to interrupt, but I saw something. J.D. Vance's wife tried to defend him in an article.
she said she's better than the couch.
No, no, he was. She was defending him by saying that he was only trying to people who willingly don't have children.
Right. He wasn't giving crap to the people who can't have children. He wasn't talking about them.
No,
He was only talking about people who choose not to have children.
Right.
Those are the people.
And her wording was awesome because she said he was only trying to insult.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he was. But it was
It's like, honey, you're letting the cat out of the bag. You're not supposed to let everybody know that you're merely saying stupid shit like that to insult people. You're supposed to actually truly feel that way.
I'm not sure.
But then again, she wasn't born here, so she might not understand. I'm just saying.
So is she an immigrant that we marry or that we send back? Oh, she's an immigrant we marry, right? Or is she an immigrant?
She keeps helping him like that. They might send her back.
Right? The woman who just recently quit her job as a corporate attorney because her being a powerful corporate attorney doesn't fit the narrative.
Yeah, she you know what? Now that she quit her job as being a corporate elite, she's no longer a corporate elite, and they can stand firmly against corporate elites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she was 5 minutes ago.
Well, yeah, I mean, she was a undercover operative for the
Sure.
organization. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. But back to Mr. Walz, Governor Walz. I have been like noticing things going on in Minnesota for the past couple of years, and been impressed with how progressive it has been, and the different things that have been passed have really kind of been amazing. And it's him. So there were some people who thought that Josh Shapiro should have been the choice, but I was watching Morning Joe this morning, and they started out with this, man, it should have been Josh Shapiro. But by the end of the hour, they had really softened on that because there were so many people, and they were showing so many clips of like, well, he's kind of a mensch. He's kind of like Grandpa. He's sweet. He's funny. He's helpful. And so they had really softened on it, and I'm glad, because the last thing you need is some kind of, you skipped over Josh Shapiro and that's not fair. And I was like, no, it's her choice. She gets to pick whoever the hell she wants to. There's nobody in line. There's no like runner-up thing. You don't have to pick the first one.
I mean, let's face it. For someone to be as idealistically the same as her, Pritzker from Illinois would be the person that you would choose. because he's very much a centrist. But picking him does her really no good because Illinois is blue as it gets.
Yeah, right. So
So,
the biggest way he would have helped her is with his money.
well, yeah, his money, yeah.
But they raised $20 million in the first 24 hours that after she picked Walz. So I think it's going okay.
I think they're doing fine as far as money goes right now.
But so the biggest thing that they're attacking him on is they're trying to attack his military record. JD Vance apparently posted on Twitter, X, whatever, that when the Iran-Iraq war started, he quit when he was called to duty, and I went and I served. And the response to that was, you served for like 8 months in an air-conditioned room and wrote press releases, and he retired after 25 years of service. I mean, he retired. He didn't quit. He had
Right.
for 20 years, and he was a command
Sergeant
major, which
He's
is
command sergeant major, which
a big deal.
yeah, that's like as high as a non-commissioned officer can get.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So he worked all the way up to non-commissioned officer. He was out of the working class.
He and also there's this, he was in and serving in this, forgettable little thing they called Operation Desert Storm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, the if you're in the military and you can't tell that these people think that you're crap, I don't understand you. I couldn't understand you.
Well, then, was it? I saw another post. I believe it was also by JD, saying that he was a total leech because he leached off of the public. He was a public school teacher. He was what was the second thing he did? A firefighter, maybe, and then a veteran. So he was a total public leech, leeching off the public.
Yeah.
Because he was a public school teacher and a veteran. He just
Leeching
called
off the
veterans leeches.
Yeah.
At any other time in our previous history, that candidate would be dead. DOA. If they called veterans leeches. And yet
It's not like he's done all that much as far as pulling himself up by the bootstraps.
yeah, no, he found some billionaire dude and has done his bidding.
I mean, and JD Vance should know about leeching. He's been leeching off the cock of a billionaire for all of his working life. So,
Yeah. That's all they got on him. I don't know. What do you think, CJ? Do I have to call you Chris for you to acknowledge?
Think about what?
Well, what are your thoughts on Walz as the candidate?
He seems very popular in Minnesota.
He is.
Known for reaching across the island, working with both parties.
And he's more progressive than Shapiro or any of the others were. So I was surprised by that.
I'm not entirely sure what Shapiro's all about, but he doesn't have a spotless record as Walz does.
Right. Yeah, he had that sexual allegation thing that was really kind of a nothing burger, but they would make it into something. So they may have wanted to just avoid that.
Yeah. And the only way you win successfully as a Democrat is with a spotless record. So
Right. Doesn't that saying something?
that's true. As a Democrat, you're really not allowed to commit fraud until after you're elected. So,
if you think about the last Democratic president who had something that was a spot was Clinton, and that wasn't even.
yeah, all he did was nail an intern. I mean,
Yeah, Kennedy did that a bunch. Who cares?
yeah.
Yeah, nobody, it was a different time and nobody ever reported on that prior to Clinton.
Right.
So,
And then with Clinton, the way I felt about it is, as long as he was humping her, he wasn't humping me. So I was fine with it.
Because he was gonna.
I wasn't fine with it, but it was his personal life. It wasn't part of his. It wasn't his professional life yet. Is the way I kind of felt about it. You know, that was a matter between him and his wife, not me.
And they had a political marriage anyway. So.
Yeah.
Maybe. Well, all I know is if I was him and had to go home to that iceberg every night, I'd be nailing anything I could find too. But that was just.
But, and you said that Democrats can't commit fraud until after they're elected. The difference is, Steve, they get indicted, and Republicans don't.
True. It's because Republicans are the law and order party.
And or other Democrats, you know, shame them out of office, like Al Franken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, tell me about committing fraud again.
No, I get it. So all in all, it sounds like he's going to help the campaign. I think that he'll make a fine vice president. And he's only he's only 60, right?
Yes.
He's 60.
I mean, he looks like he's 80, but he's only 60. So
It's just men. Men that age look older.
yeah. You know, we look okay through our 30s and 40s, but we lose it after 50. It's downhill.
Well, without makeup and de-ager and all this fancy stuff.
Unlike me, who looks this perfect with no makeup.
That's true. And after 50 years of putting up with women, it starts to affect you.
Okay.
You wear your weariness on your face.
So what's the next topic we want to talk about is somebody has $10 million fraud case coming up? What?
Well, no, so it's not a fraud case. So what came out this past week is that they were investigating at one point a $10 million payment from Egypt that they believe went to Trump. There in 2016, when he was running for office, there was a point at which Trump said that he was taking $10 million of his own personal money and putting it into the campaign. Well, they reverse engineered that, and there was a $10 million payment from Egypt, and the Department of Justice started to investigate that. And Bill Barr, when Trump was in office and Bill Barr was the Attorney General, Bill Barr put a stop to the investigation. And they think that this was all part of the same thing. Who's the guy who just got invited from New York, the Democrat?
Martinez?
Menendez, right?
Something like that.
Yeah. So all part of, because he was also getting payments from Egypt.
Right.
Right. And they think that they sent Trump payments as well, $10 million. Now, it's even, I guess I could say, even more illegal for somebody to get payments from a foreign country as a political candidate. You cannot accept foreign money.
Yep.
Definitely against the law.
Yep.
But the story came out this past week. I think it was the Washington Post, maybe?
Yes.
Washington Post
Yep.
came up with the story that this had happened. And the problem now is that the statute of limitations has run, so they can't investigate it now because the statute has run, unless they find some other basis on which to investigate. But a lot of people are kind of honked off because it's like, Merrick Garland, what were you doing? Why were you not investigating this? I mean, I know they had a lot of January 6th things,
he's been a real limp dick the entire time.
Yeah, he's
You'd
been.
have thought, and the whole reason I think that Biden picked him was you'd have thought that he'd have been honked off about not being a Supreme Court justice. Well, turns out, as Supreme Court justice, he'd have been just as big a limp dick as he's being as Attorney General. So maybe it's a good thing he went on.
Yeah, I don't think that he's gotten the memo that it is not status quo. We cannot do the same things we've been doing because things have changed. You can't not investigate a previous president just because he's president, because our previous president is a criminal and a grifter and a con man. And so you can't just let that go and say, well, it's the president has privileges, because he's conning and grifting us. Saying, oh, I'm not going to take a salary. Meanwhile, billing the government millions and millions of dollars to have the Secret Service stay at his properties. It's a con. And
his corporations and he made more money as president than they had like the previous 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. So I just don't think he's gotten a memo that things have changed. They can't just turn the other cheek and let him get away with stuff because, he's coming back for more. He's going to come back for more.
He's not happy with stealing the cheese out of the trap the first time. He's going to keep every time you put cheese out, he's going to steal.
Right. So unlike people like Nixon and Spiro Agnew and other people who were crooks basically, and they walked away. They walked away and they went gently into that good night. That's not what Trump is doing. He's breaking the rules. If you cheat and you lie and you're a crook as president, you're supposed to walk away. And then we don't prosecute you. I think that's basically been our rule.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And Merrick Garland hasn't figured out that we're not playing by those rules anymore. That's what I think anyway.
Or he just doesn't pay much attention.
And I would be really happy if Biden appointed someone else. Although he's only got a few months left, so. But.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not worth changing out now, but hopefully Kamala will put a real ass kicker in there.
Yes, just somebody to, attend to law and order and to give us back the rule of law, because I feel like we've lost that. So.
Oh, completely, especially with the Supreme Court doing what it's doing. It's, it's open. It's the wild, wild west again.
Yeah, and I believe it was Sheldon Whitehouse who just recently reported that they found even more gifts that Clarence Thomas got that he did not report.
Yeah, that guy. He's going to have to retire, or they're going to find real dirt that's going to stick.
Yeah.
Because being a Supreme Court justice doesn't make you immune to,
Yeah, that's only if you're.
They've already got a sniff on the bodies he's buried, and they're going to dig them up. So he's going to have to start. He's going to have to really start thinking about retiring before they get the shovels out. Well, Chris had a topic he'd like to talk about. Excuse me. What is that topic, sir?
Well, 2 days ago, there was an Iraq missile base, or an Iraq base, at Al-Assad Air Base in Iraq that was hit by a couple missiles. Apparently some American soldiers got hurt. 7 injured, looks like, which is not usually what happens there. Apparently there's strikes that happen there every once in a while, but no missiles ever hurt anything. So that's just another thing added to the tensions in the Middle East.
Do they have any idea where the missiles came from?
Iran.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I've got the feeling that if Iran doesn't quit farting around, it's going to be a glass parking lot. The whole country is going to be a glass parking lot before long.
So do you think that they're trying to provoke us into retaliating and getting involved?
Well, the last one, or one of the last ones in 2020, was after the assassination of the Iranian general Qasem Soleimani, which hurt 100 troops. So I'm guessing, yeah, they're just trying to provoke us and get us to do something. I guess the fear for us, though, is if we do retaliate because of the strike, what would they do then to our allies in the area? Apparently, I don't know.
What I don't think Iraq understands is that the world is at the point where they're choosing sides again, and Russia, Iraq, North Korea, they're not that big and they don't have that many friends.
Right.
And their problem is I think they could count on China to jump in. Well, no. What's going to happen is they're going to provoke something, set it off. NATO is going to just bulldoze their countries, turn them into parking lots, and then China's going to come in and build malls there. That's what's going to happen. China is just going to be opportunistic and just sit back and wait, and then pick up the pieces when we walk away. That's what I foresee happening.
Now, interestingly enough, where do you think India lands on that? Which side?
When it comes right down to between dollars and donuts, India is going to go with NATO because they have to.
Even with the hardliner they have in there now?
What?
Even with the hardliner they have in there now, the hard right prime minister they have?
He knows that their armed forces aren't capable of handling NATO.
Oh, so it's more of you wouldn't want to be an enemy of NATO, so you better join them.
Or sit it out.
Yeah.
Well, if they were to join Russia and China, all three of them.
Okay, well, see, Russia's a toothless tiger. We figured that out. China is, the unknown factor. But China's not. I don't think China is stupid enough to really want to take on the rest of the world. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that China would throw their lot into a very weak Russia, an extremely weak North Korea, and yeah, there's a bazillion, Indians, but
yeah, with China and India on the same team, that's
it's a lot of people, but it's not a lot of hardware.
3 billion people, something like that.
Yeah, it's a large population, but the problem is it's not a lot of hardware. Do you see what I'm saying?
They could use sticks, even.
I mean, yes, India has a large population, but it's not like the United States where they have two guns to every person in that country. That's not the case. I mean, not only does the United States have the largest military and the most hardware, our citizenry is more armed than most of the rest of the world. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. It wouldn't be in anyone's best interest to do anything.
Least of all ours.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see that there's any advantage to retaliating at all. Do you, Chris?
I don't see why not.
Why not retaliate?
Yeah. I mean, normally our thing is, oh, you shoot a missile at us, we shoot 15. And that works pretty well. So.
Well, we don't. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. True. I see what you're saying. Yeah. We'll shoot 15 missiles and blow up, 4 or 5 ammo depots or, fuel storage places, but not kill people.
No, not usually. And at this point, they don't know whether it's like Hamas or who's responsible exactly.
I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that it's Hezbollah trying to provoke some sort of reason to give them to try to invade, Israel in some way. But yeah,
I mean, that would be interesting.
Not really. I don't want to. I don't want to see any more of that war.
It's not really a war. It's more of a mess.
It's a war. I mean, it's a war to them. It's not. It's a lopsided, crappy war, but it's a war. And I want Israel to quit dragging their feet, get it over with, because they got absolutely no reason to continue it now. They've got no reason to continue doing what they're doing, except for the fact that Bibi doesn't want to get thrown out of office.
Well, they still have hostages, don't they?
That they ain't going to give back.
Or maybe they can't.
Because I would assume that by now these hostages are either dead or,
assimilated.
No longer in any kind of controlled situation.
Yeah.
Because where would they be keeping these hostages?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's only like 10 square miles of space real estate in the whole Gaza Strip.
And they basically flatten the whole thing. So
yeah, the rest of it is completely. I imagine those hostages have been killed a while ago, if not by Hamas, by Israeli attacks.
Right. Yeah, they could just as well be killing their own hostages as anybody in Gaza. So yeah, that was part of it I didn't understand. Like, you could be killing your own people with these attacks. I don't understand what you're doing, but
I mean, I understand why Israel did it to begin with, but we're at the point now where, okay, enough's enough. You've proven your point.
Well, and haven't they, compared to where there were 500 people killed on October 5th, or 200, 500, somewhere less than 1,000, and isn't the death toll in Gaza about 35,000 now?
Yeah, they've more than 10 times the toll. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand the original reason. I get it, but you're to the point now where it's such overkill, and you are blatantly dragging your feet to stretch it out. Now it's to the point where the only reason it's still going on is because Netanyahu wants to stay in power. And that's the only reason.
You know what you are? You're just anti-Semitic. That's all.
I'm not anti-Semitic because when it first kicked off, I was all about let them go to town and prove a point.
Well, but I'm glad we're getting away from the you either are 100% with Israel or you're an anti-Semite frame of mind, which we were in like 8 months ago. Because it's like you couldn't say boo or you were an anti-Semite and that was the only thing that you were was an anti-Semite. You couldn't say I think it's overkill. It's too escalated. No, you're an anti-Semite. And then they just AI PAC just ousted a Democratic representative because they felt that she was not sufficiently behind Israel and was too far behind Gaza.
Wow.
Was too favorable, too sympathetic to Gaza, and so they backed her primary challenger. It's the lady in Florida.
It's Florida. There ain't but 2 brain cells amongst the whole state. They all share them.
But this was AI PAC. It's the American-Israeli PAC. And they targeted her because they thought she was too sympathetic to Gaza. And so they ousted a Democrat out of her seat for that.
Well, then they're going to enjoy the fruits of their labor when this Republican, who's probably more anti-Semitic than anything, it votes against them. And I don't know. I don't know. Idiots need to learn their lessons. That's all I got on my plate. Let's take a break. We'll be back. When we come back, we're going to Dawn wants to discuss social media and also some interesting changes to rules in Georgia. So when we come back, we will discuss that.
In a world where the future can seem uncertain, there's one place you can turn to for guidance and peace of mind. Legacy Law Firm, owned and operated by attorney Dawn Weekly. With attorney Weekly's expertise in elder law, you can trust that your family's legacy is in capable hands.
At Legacy Law Firm, we understand the importance of planning for the future, whether it's drafting a will, navigating Medicaid, or protecting your assets. We're here to help.
Attorney Weekly made the process seamless and stress-free.
Her knowledge and dedication are truly exceptional.
Don't leave your family's future to chance. Contact Legacy Law Firm today and schedule your consultation with attorney Dawn Weekly. Legacy Law Firm, helping you build a lasting legacy from one generation to the next.
Hi, we're KISS. There's something you should know about us. We love kids.
Maybe that's because the last U.S. Census proved that 44% of all children conceived between 1972 and 1984 were conceived at a KISS concert.
By Gene.
That's why we've joined the Helping Parents to Rock movement.
We're on patrol 24/7.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. We got a code red. Over there, over there.
Hang on to it now.
Never fear, KISS is here.
Nice makeup.
I'm sorry your parents ruined your birthday, Flip, but KISS is going to make it all better. Yes, we love to rock, but not as much as we love helping parents to rock.
All right, here we go, champ. Here we go. All right, here we go. You're getting it.
Yeah, we're gonna need you to sign this waiver.
KISS assumes no liability for kids helped by KISS. This episode of Left is Right is sponsored by Take Everything Digital, where they preserve your precious memories by converting your analog memories to digital ones that can last forever. If you have video, audio, or camcorder tapes collecting dust, Take Everything Digital can convert them as well as reel-to-reel films, slides, and photos. They operate out of Yorkville and St. Charles, Illinois, and will pick up your work within a 30-mile radius for free. Your memories are never outsourced to another company, so there are no shipping mishaps. There is also a monthly budget plan where you can decide how much you want to spend each month until your memories are all preserved. Go to www.takeeverythingdigital.com for more information or to schedule a free consultation.
And welcome back to the show. Our next topic up for discussion. Let's go to the rules changes in Georgia.
Okay, that's me. So the State Elections Board now has 3 Trumpers on it. 3 people, and actually at the rally that was in Atlanta last week, Trump actually called them out to say, hey, you people who are working on the elections board, you're voting for me and for my victory. Great job. So he even called them out. But they're on the state elections board in Georgia, and they just got a rules change passed. So previously, state law in Georgia, the state law in Georgia says that the county officials shall certify elections. It's shall. They have to certify them. Okay? One way or another. They have to certify whoever won. They can't just throw their hands up in the air and go, we don't know who won. They have to certify somebody. So the state elections board just made a rules change, which is a change to the rule, not the state law. It's a rule, an administrative rule, that says that the county election officials can only certify after a reasonable inquiry to ensure that the results are accurate.
So I'm assuming the next step for this is some sort of appeal to the state Supreme Court where it'll be overturned?
Probably, but way after the election. Basically, what they've done is they've opened the door to not certify the election and to throw Georgia into being not certified.
Well, no, because it has to be certified. The law says it has to be. It's just going to delay the certification.
And they could be saying, we're going to delay the certification until 2030 when we're sure that it was accurate.
Yeah, but they can't delay it that long because this
unreasonable.
The state Supreme Court would intervene and force them to.
Right, but their goal is to delay it long enough so that the election gets thrown into the House, and the House decides. That is assuming that the House does not flip to be Democratic. If the House flips, no, the United States Congress.
Oh.
Right now, in Congress, the House of Representatives is majority Republican by like 1 vote. If that flips and then the Democrats are in the majority, then the Democrats would be in the majority, and if the election went to the House, they're going to certify for whoever. Trump's plan will not work. But if we don't take the majority in the House, and it's still the Republicans are the majority, and in rule under Mike Johnson, they're going to certify for Trump no matter who won, and that's their plan.
Well, but here's the deal: is we need a big enough margin that Georgia doesn't matter.
Right. If we can get enough electoral votes without Georgia, yeah, the point is moot. However, I understand that they just did something very similar in Virginia. And they're probably working on it in the rest of the swing states. So, you know.
Well, it sounds to me like that the Supreme Courts in these states need to get they need to be a fast track.
Well,
I know that in some states they can fast track this shit because it's under a tight deadline.
Now in Wisconsin, they have a majority progressive Supreme Court. So that would be a hard task. But in Pennsylvania and I'm pretty sure that is a Republican, conservative Supreme Court there. So, but that's their plan. Their plan is that's why Trump isn't even campaigning normally. He's only having rallies like on the weekends. Whereas
he figures he's got it stolen already, so
he doesn't have to work that hard.
I mean, it could be that he's just so old. That's all he can do.
It could be that. It could also be that he doesn't have enough money to put on all these rallies.
He can just show up.
Well, what it is it seems to be like it's a combination of he's too old to go out and campaign anymore. He doesn't have the money to do a full-on campaign. Although I don't know that that's the case because he has every penny that the Republican Party has in its coffers.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but that does seem to clearly be the plan, is to delay certification and focus on maintaining their majority in the House so that they can certify for Trump no matter who wins. So there has been, some bandying about of, well, can't Biden issue like an executive order that says anybody who refuses at the state level to certify would automatically be convicted of something, a felony, or it would be like a res ipsa loquitur kind of tort, except for it would be a criminal. It happened, therefore you're guilty. That you were ordered to certify, you did not, therefore you're guilty.
So those people would be brought up on federal charges then?
Yeah.
And
like the person who did that in Nevada, who was convicted for doing that.
I understand, but then it's up to ever so slow motion Merrick Garland to get it done.
Yeah, the Justice Department. Yep. Yep.
The Republicans are telegraphing their punches, and the Democrats aren't doing anything to block them.
That we know of.
That we know of.
I mean, because
if past performance means anything,
well,
they're not doing anything to block it.
I think that the people in power have gotten the memo by and large that it is not business as usual. And I think that they understand that the potentialities are dire. And the whole, if you don't have to vote after this time because I'll fix
it all fixed.
Again.
He's saying the quiet part out loud. And nobody is fucking listening. And it's really starting to irk me.
We're listening. In that regard, Kamala and Walz have gone even further than Biden did with their speechifying, where they're actually calling Trump out and insulting him back and things like that. But
what do you fucking do? That doesn't mean anything. Okay, great, awesome. But how about let's get something done to stop this back-ass bullshit?
okay, what's to be done?
Take them out and shoot the mother effers.
Yeah, that works. No, seriously, what's to be done? Even Mark Elias said, there's really nothing you can do until they do something wrong. That's the way our system and the rule of law works. You really can't do anything to them until they do something wrong.
Well, they in Georgia, they've just passed a rule that's unconstitutional to the state constitution.
So says you, the constitutional scholar of Georgia.
No, my point is that rule seems to go against the state law. So,
But like you
ergo bye into quiminously or whatever. I ain't got no $50 words. It would appeared on his face that flaunts against the state law. So why can't that case be taken up in time to correct the matter?
By whom?
Does somebody get off their ass and take them to court?
No, see, that's just it. Not just anybody can get off their ass and take somebody to court for any reason. That's not how our system works. Somebody who has been injured has to take them to court. So far, no one has been injured.
So creating a rule that goes against the law isn't actually against the law until you try to follow that rule.
Yeah.
I mean, you've declared it a law, but whether or not it's lawful is not, it's lawful until someone challenges it. So, somebody would have to get creative to, maybe a candidate would be somebody who could say, this rule injures me, and so I'm fighting it. But nobody has failed to certify yet, so it's hard to do that. But what Mark Elias did say was that if they do that, then you can file lawsuits, and then you can get into court. And when there are election proceedings, just like after the 2020 election, all those 60 lawsuits got done before the end of the year because they were done immediately because of timeliness, that it needed to be done right away. Unlike the Supreme Court, they can't put it off for 3-4 months and just try to slow walk it because there was an actual deadline. So they would be able to take it to court if they act on that. But that doesn't mean that their plan is not to try to do this and hope that they get away with it. But the fact that we know about it.
You don't think that's what their plan is?
Their plan
and hope to get away with it?
They're hoping to get away with it, right? So their plan was to do it without fanfare and hope nobody noticed, and then they could sneak up on us with it, and we'd be unprepared. But what has happened is that we are watching, we are on notice, we are prepared. I mean, Mark Elias is the one in the country who has done all of these cases. He is the one who knows election law. He's on it. He's just got to wait for the right time to do it.
All right. Well, you're talking me off the ledge a little bit. Thank you.
But it's good to know that they're trying. I mean, that helps. It helps for us to tell people, hey, they're trying to cheat, and here is how. Because it's informative when people go into the voting booth. It's informative.
Right. Yes, no, I agree. It's also nice to know that there's somebody there to stop them from stealing. Your opinion, Chris?
Yeah. I don't know. It's
It doesn't bug you that they're trying to steal the election?
well, they claim that we did last time. So
Yeah, but the empirical evidence shows that they are. That doesn't bug you more than somebody saying that you cheated, and when the evidence shows that you're there. If the evidence showed that we had cheated, then that would be one thing.
I suppose.
It bothers me a lot more when there's already evidence showing that they're attempting to cheat, and past experience says they're going to cheat.
They'll try to.
And that doesn't fire you up a little bit?
Not even the slightest.
Wow. And just to put a fine point on it, they say the 2020 election was stolen, but they filed over 60 lawsuits
and lost
to try to prove that, but they were unable to prove it.
Yeah.
And Rudy Giuliani even said, we have lots of theories, but we just don't have any evidence.
Yeah.
Which just means we're making shit up, but we can't prove it.
Correct.
And Rudy Giuliani probably learned his lesson in that whole making shit up stick.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
So
They
in
usually
our
do.
world, the way we work, if you try to prove it and you can't, that means it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So you can't then continue to claim that it happened if you can't prove that it did happen.
Right.
So the fact that they say that it was stolen means nothing.
Nothing at all.
Yeah.
I agree. It just doesn't bother me. Let's look at what's coming to them.
No, that's a good way to look at it.
That's how I live my life.
And if we could keep the energy and excitement up, like at this level until November, the point should become moot because we'll have enough to override any attempt at cheating. And I think we're really going to need that to just like, we got to make it obvious. Got to make it like, well, there's really no way that they could have cheated that much. You know?
Yeah. Harrison Walls are popular, so it should be enough.
Hopefully.
I hope so.
They're not just popular with their party; they're popular with
in general.
Generally,
yeah.
Which Trump cannot say.
Right.
True. I mean, I see what you're saying, and I hope you're correct. I just, glass half full guy. Sorry.
Well, if you think about it, they have to make up lies in order to try to attack the candidates, and we don't have to make anything up.
But they say that we are.
Hit them with the facts, and that's it. Another thing is they don't really care about the facts.
Right, because they have their own alternate facts.
Right.
And they just make stuff up.
Just the fact that someone said alternate facts makes me believe that they're sending out acid tabs in the mail to unremember. It's
Well,
just completely.
We did coke up the inner cities, so.
I watched a couple of TikToks this weekend where it was like a Jordan Klepper where he's asking Trump supporters questions.
Oh, right.
And it wasn't Jordan Klepper or somebody else. I think it was PYT. But anyway, he was asking them about post-birth abortion.
Yeah.
And these people are honestly and sincerely saying, California has a law. They have a law.
I'm sure they were told that, yeah.
You can abort a baby up to 4 weeks after it's born. And they honestly and sincerely believe that.
They wouldn't have to do it 4 weeks after if they could have just done it before,
Well, I still say I am fully and 100% in agreement with, late-term abortions up to 26 years.
No, you have to wait until they're 16 and then incarcerate them for the free labor.
Okay. On to the next
Prison
topic.
system is awful. I could talk about that for a while.
On to the next topic. What were you wanting to talk about with the social media?
Okay, so I know that you are not into social media, and I don't think Chris is either too much. But I used to be on Twitter, and I kind of enjoyed it. But it, it kind of became a cesspool. And so I went over to Threads. I like Threads, but it's a Meta product. It's a Facebook product. And now they've got it so that they won't show you political ads or political posts. You have to specifically opt in but basically they're just trying to control content too much. So I've been looking for alternatives.
Well, I got one for you. You ready?
Yeah.
There's this one that I know that you can post anything you want. It's called True Social. Give it a look. See what you think.
No.
And the name's True Social, so you know they're not putting out any kind of falsehoods.
Yeah, I don't think so. So
I have to say I do agree with what they're doing.
Who?
Making it so that you have to opt in to see political things.
That way, if you're looking for
downer, man.
If you're looking for political opinion, you can see it.
Yes.
If you're just looking for brain dead entertainment,
yep,
you don't have to see the.
That's what they're for. That is exactly what it's all for.
I agree. Social media is for brain dead entertainment. I mean,
yeah. Look at
that's why we're doing a show, folks. I'm just saying. Although our watchers are not brain dead at all, you are the most intelligent and top 5% of social media watchers are left is right.
So
all two of them.
That being said, I still wanted an alternative because Threads is made by Facebook. And it's tied to your Instagram, which is something I never use.
It's all the same company.
Right. It's all the same company. So I've been looking, and I've been working on Blue Sky and Mastodon. And
nice. Heavy metal.
Mastodon, that sounds good.
Yeah.
So
America.
Neither one of these, they're both open source products. Open source. Okay. Yeah, now you're getting into, I'm showing my weaknesses and knowledge here. But in any event, on Blue Sky, which I just have not been on that as long, but I did find a feed on Blue Sky called Project 2025, where they are just posting from Project 2025, taking a thing and posting it and talking about it, and taking a thing and posting it and talking about it. And I thought, wow, that's a great idea. So if anybody that we know is on Blue Sky, look for the Project 2025 feed to get some good information. They also have on there, links to videos that go to YouTube as well. So, and Blue Sky also, you can link your Blue Sky to your Mastodon, although I don't think you can do it backwards. And Mastodon also apparently does not have hashtags, but Blue Sky does. So
cool.
For people who are
so you can link your Blue Sky to your Mastodon,
right?
But your Mastodon won't link to your Blue Sky. Is what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
All right.
But it's
because my Mastodon's got lots of links on it. You can link right to it. That's what I'm saying.
So actually, then Tribal was something that was created by a Democratic.
I remember that.
Some kind of Democratic activist. I was reading. I forgot what I read. But Tribal seems to be all but dead. There seems to be like no activity on Tribal. So maybe it's because I'm not following anybody, but I don't see anybody to follow. So
I've been posting a lot of political memes to my old MySpace, and the response has been overwhelmingly silent.
But there seems to be a lot of activity on Blue Sky. I'm liking that one more than Mastodon. So
You're not going to give me anything for my MySpace.
no, I'm not. I'm going to totally ignore that. But a lot of people do look to get their news, their breaking news, from Threads. Well, I mean, a lot of people are using Twitter for that, but people are abandoning Twitter. Threads is still pretty good for getting breaking news. It's a little bit behind Twitter, but there's still like news organizations that are on Threads, and they post to Threads. But not so many of those on Blue Sky or Mastodon yet. But
well, now that you have been promoting them on Left is Right, you know that they're business. We need to start buying some stock because now they're going to blow up, man. We need to get in on that craze.
So if you get on Blue Sky, my handle is Donnie N. Marie. Okay.
All right.
Like
Donnie and Marie.
Like Donnie and Marie. Yeah. Terry and Carrie used to call me Donnie and Marie all the time. And on Mastodon, I'm simply Don Weekly. Yawn. The big yawn. But
just so you know, I'm going to allot you 5 stars.
Excellent.
For your job. The Donnie and Marie has totally pulled you out of the fire. You received a hearty and truth-felt belly chuckle from me. I think it even moved the camera a little bit. I was laughing so hard.
Excellent. Yeah, that's bsky.app. That is correct.
I looked it up.
Yeah. I don't know what Mastodon is. Yeah. I don't know. I just use my phone. I don't know.
Band. I can tell you that.
Is it?
Yes. Heavy metal band.
Oh.
All right.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, Mastodon is a heavy metal band.
Yeah, it is.
You're right. Sorry. Well, I'm a Gen Xer. You gotta.
I mean, no wonder there wasn't even a chuckle when I said heavy metal. All right.
Sorry, Gen Xer. You gotta give me a little time. I'll catch up. Problem is, I'm busy. So busy not caring that. Well, I think that was very insightful. I do want to mention a couple of social media things that we've talked about in the past. The first is the National Popular Vote. By all means, go to www.nationalpopularvote.com and read up and see what you got to do to get that passed. It's a way to get rid of the Electoral College, something that absolutely doesn't need to be in existence anymore, because now it's just a tool used to subvert elections. So I think it needs to go by the wayside.
I don't know. Something to be said about the educated elite voting for everybody.
You're right. Back in the early 1900s, the Electoral College did have that one Heisman winner, but that's a while ago.
Back-to-back state champs, national champs, rather.
Oh, okay. The other is Citizens United. This is the address to go to help fight Citizens United, so that we can fix the funding of elections and get that straightened out. Get all that dark money out of our elections. Get those corporations to, if they're people, that's fine, but they can be mute. To cut the tongues out of the corporations. And then just for a little update, how far are you on your Turnout Pack postcards?
I am 25% done. I've gotten 2 pages out of 8 completed.
Rock and roll.
And I have until the middle of October to get done. That's when they want them mailed. So I'm making good progress.
Nice. In case you were wondering, Turnout Pack, that's where they send you a bunch of postcards and or addresses to send them to talk people into voting or to help promote voting. Either way.
Yes. To remind people that November 5th is election day and please vote.
Absolutely. And if you staple a fiver to it, I think it'll be more effective. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you should bribe anyone.
I'll wait till you get here and you can do that part.
No, I'm just hoping a lot of people send me one.
You're wearing in Illinois, you ain't getting one, buddy.
Dang it. All right. CJ, any parting words for our viewers?
Party words?
Parting
words. I was thinking, surprise, Lollapalooza, wacky inflatable flailing tube man, stuff like that. Parting words. Spread. That's a good one.
I forgot we're dealing with nothing but logic. We have our own Spock. Parting words as in anything you'd like to say before we sign off.
Okay, no, I don't care.
Wow. Okay. Any parting words from you, Dawn?
Well, let's see. Frank Figluzzi just reposted about the Georgia rules. So see, we're right on it. About the change of the rules. And everybody's saying, where's Markelius? Where's Markelius? So we're right on it. We are spot on.
Okay. All right.
But it's been a good uplifting week, and let's hope it continues. And my hope is that from this experience, people will go, well, it was a lot nicer having a shorter election period. Maybe we shouldn't have a 2-year election cycle. Maybe let's make it 3 months. Please let that happen.
I'm with you. If all the other free world can make it work, we can too.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it's like selling stuff at the store before the holiday.
Yeah.
They got Christmas stuff out,
Yeah, no, we don't need Christmas stuff out in June. No. Let's have a 3-month election cycle and, go from there. Yes. I hope we decide that this is the way to do it. My hope.
Well, I would like to say thank you for viewing the show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments or questions or anything like that, get a hold of us at, leftisright2024@gmail.com. Or by all means, you can even comment on our site on YouTube at YouTube or www.youtube.com at leftisright-2024. For Dawn, for Chris, I'm Steve, and we will see you next week. Peace out.
I needed money, 'cause I had none. I fought the law, and the law won.
I just wanted to say, look, welcome to the end of democracy. We're here to overthrow it completely. We didn't get all the way there on January 6th, but we will endeavor to get rid of it. And
I never talked this way about him. You probably know. Until I got, who is this? Is he a friend? You can get him out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Go ahead. You can throw him out.
I needed money, 'cause I had none.